Welcome everyone. I'm Bridget Cook-Burch with Inspired Legacy Publishing, and I am so excited to introduce to you the authors of a wonderful book that's coming out. It's called Pumpkin's Impossible Dream, with a mother and son duo. So we have Rob Gibbons and his mother, Shari Gibbons. And Rob, we would love you just to tell everyone what the book is about and also how it came into being, because it has a fun story.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit unusual, probably how most stories would show up, or inspiration. My mom was over one day at my sister-in-law's house, my brother's home, and she had decorated the front porch. And on that, she'd had it decorated for Halloween, and she had stacked some pumpkins. And my mom saw that and thought, well, that looks fun. So being the artist she is, she went home and started drawing these pumpkins and different variations of it. Well, we spend once or twice a week painting together over the years, and we'll go and we'll spend the afternoons and we'll paint. That's what we do together. And I went over one day and she's drawing and painting these pumpkins stacked on top of each other. And I said, Mom, I think there's a story in there on that. And I went home after we got done painting that day. I went home that night and I wrote out the story, Pumpkin's Impossible Dream, which is about a pumpkin who dreams about being something other than a jack-o'-lantern, which most pumpkins dream about being a jack-o'-lantern. Pumpkin dreams about being a snowman. And the story follows him along his journey to become a snowman amidst a lot of doubters and naysayers and a lot of characters who don't think he has any possibility of being a snowman. And it's a story about perseverance and following your dreams. And so anyway, I wrote the story, went back, took it to her, showed it to her, and I said, Mom, here's the storyline, I want you to draw pictures. So she started painting pictures. Took several months, didn't it? Lots of months, lots of time. She wrote those, and we started formulating it. And interestingly enough, the final story that came, the one that we submitted to the editor and to the publisher, isn't the one exactly that you see now, is it? That my editor, who I love immeasurably and trust implicitly, recommended that I rewrite it and make it rhyme, which in the first format didn't rhyme. And she, knowing that most of my works and everything that I do is I like to rhyme everything in it, she suggested I redo it, which I'm grateful she did, which we love and now have it in rhyming form. So I think people will find it interesting that the first edition didn't have that, but it does now, and I'm grateful it does. So I'm grateful to her for suggesting that.
Turned out wonderfully.
Thank you.
Love it.
So a lot of work. What did you think?
I loved it. I loved the direction it went in. And I've loved the opportunity to work with this boy. I say boy because he's still a boy.
He'll always be a boy in your eyes.
My boy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you've painted together and created together for years and years, and this was your very first book together.
It is our first book.
How wonderful.
But we have some more.
I know, and the audience should know too that you're going to be coming out with a lot more books, with which we're really excited together. And then also Rob has an unusual sense of humor, and he has an incredible compilation of stories and poems and other things that he's going to be bringing to light as well. So you have to stay tuned for that. But in this book, tell me why you wanted to talk about the naysayers and those that wouldn't believe in Pumpkin's Dream. Why was that important?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think we live in a world where it's easier for people to say, you can't accomplish this, you can't do this. And really, this is a microcosm. This book being produced and done is a microcosm of that whole dream. I was 14 years old when I decided I wanted to write books and do stuff. And I've gone through my whole life, adult life, doing that, drawing and doing all of the stuff for, writing those things. And it's finally taken this long for us to do it, but this whole book is really just a microcosm of somebody's dream coming true. To me, ours to do this together. And the time we've spent together, the hundreds and hundreds of hours to do this has been immeasurable and fun to produce. But I think the message in it is, if you try hard enough, if you believe hard enough, and you work hard enough, dreams can come true. You just have to work at it, right?
Absolutely. Well, and it's interesting too, because we're at a time in human history when children are growing up under a lot of bullying. There can be a lot of hatred in society. And what I love about this book is, in a very gentle, compassionate, and kind way, you are encouraging that young reader to hang on to their dreams no matter the naysayers. And proving that, you can have impossible dreams and that they can come true, which is amazing. So will you share a little bit about your story and how you became an artist, and then why it's been so important to you?
I think I have always loved art from the time I went to first grade, and I painted tulips, and they were just beautiful. And I just loved painting in school with tempera paint. Then, as I went through school, I loved all the art classes. Then, as my children started to come along, I saved everything that they drew because I just loved their artwork, and Rob can verify that. I gave him like 3 big, huge file boxes full of his stuff from school.
Wow.
When he was little. He's got enough to fill a book with just his own art, from childhood. But anyway, then I started painting ceramics, and I would do that. I don't know how I did that with 4 children, but I did it because I wanted to. And then I took watercolor classes in California, and I would paint on the kitchen table at night when the children were all in bed. And I think that's why I still stay up at night, because that's my quiet time to do what I want to, with the art. And my kitchen is like an art studio, and my children still, as they're all grown up, think that I need to put it somewhere else. But I like it in the kitchen.
So it's still an art studio.
Yeah,
so you grew up with a kitchen and an art studio
She
anyway.
has both, but she prefers the kitchen. I don't know why, but
I mean, I do have a studio down the hall, but it doesn't have a good enough light, I think,
And so the kitchen is perfect.
Yeah.
it's closer to the Lorna Dunes too.
Yeah, it's close to Lorna Dunes. I do love Lorna Dunes.
Wonderful.
But we do have I do have a great interest. I paint in oils, and since I have that wonderful iPad now, I can sit in my chair and paint anything I want to, because you can size your iPad to be a great big, huge painting and do it right there on your lap with your little pencil, And so it's been really fun to do that. And Rob has taken several of the things I've done and framed them up, have done. His wife even has one that's made of metal, and it's flowers, and it's just beautiful, that she put it on that metal. It was really pretty. So anyway, I do most of the stuff I do with the kids, because I think that's fun to encourage them, and they all have memories of painting with Grandma, and some of them have painted some really good stuff.
Oh, I bet they have. And you said you also, when you go on vacation with the kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, you always pull out what?
I do. Those craft suitcases that the ladies used to fill up with scrapbooking stuff? Mine is full of chalks and pencils and watercolor paints and tempera, all kinds of brushes, all kinds of paper, all kinds of coloring books, all kinds of, things that they can work on and they just look forward to it. It was like, get around the table, we're gonna paint with Grandma, you know.
How fun.
And we would take those to Lake Powell almost every year. Everybody wanted to know, did Grandma have her suitcase?
What a wonderful thing to be known for. The painting in the paintings in the kitchen and the supplies for all the grandkids when you're on vacation. That's lovely. Well, and so Rob, you felt very supported in your creative endeavors as a child and then a teenager, and but you went into other endeavors for work. So is this like a dream coming true to be able to finally put all of these things together in one book and then multiple books?
Yeah, it really is. I was like most people, did my college thing and started a business and worked in that, my own business for we have a couple of different businesses, and I've done that most of my adult life. But through that whole time period, I was always writing stories and poems for my kids first, now for my grandkids and my kids, and so it's always there. I've got volumes and volumes of things I've written over all that time period, waiting for the time to finally use that and bring it and put forth that talent, if there's a talent there. But I wished it was always...
He always says that, but there is a lot of talent there.
But it's fun to share it finally, just with other people other than just the family and immediate family. But yeah, it's been a great labor, and it's exciting to get it out there finally. And it's a lifelong dream to do it, and it's fun to do it finally.
Wonderful.
It was really fun when we first finished the first pumpkin book, and we had it done up so each one of our families would have one. And we have a giant Halloween party every year. And so we took the pumpkin book to the Halloween party and handed them out, and every family got one. And those little kids just were loving it and sorting through it. Then we made posters of the pages and tacked them around on the wall, and each child got to choose a poster that they loved and take it home. And Rob read them the book. And so then after that, every Halloween, that was the program. We had to have Rob read the book. And what's been fun about it is that those children have followed the characters in the book, and as they have gone into other books, we've introduced those characters to the children.
I had a granddaughter that my wife was reading, Grandma was reading to one of our granddaughters, and you're gonna have to wait to see what the ending is. You're gonna have to read, but it was the cutest thing to me was when she got to that point where the ending was revealed, and that 4-year-old granddaughter just squealed because she was so excited about
Pumpkin achieving
his goal. Yeah, and I thought it was a wonderful moment to know. Okay, I've reached some kids and they understand the whole thing. So yeah, I loved it. Yeah. That was fun.
And then he had one little granddaughter that was out swinging or jumping rope, and she's saying something that he's written as a jump rope theme. It's just like it's in her head, and that's, so we know that they will take it with their families and to their families, and it will go on for generations.
It definitely is going to go on for generations, which is something that you both are very interested in and love to do. So even in your bios and other things, you talk about your kids and your grandkids and great-grandkids, and what a wonderful, warm gift. So I imagine, Rob, you're going to be this Halloween, because you'll have that physical book in your hands, that you'll be reading that. Yeah,
and much to the surprise of the kids, it's going to rhyme this time around, but the version they're used to didn't. So what they'll see is the one that's, of course, getting printed and ready to go with some new pictures, because the publisher asked us to also make the story a little longer and do some things. So we've done that, and so it'll be familiar but a little bit new to them, won't it?
Yep.
This time around. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Some wonderful new illustrations that you added, which is great. So,
well, I maybe have gotten better than I was too. I've improved upon a lot of stuff.
Well, there you go. What a wonderful thing. So tell me who your favorite character is in the book.
I love them all.
You drew them all. Yeah.
It's hard to choose. You can't choose which child you love. So you just love them all. I love all those little characters. I even love the little hobgoblins, and I love Scarecrow because he's cranky, but he's just like people I know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Who are cranky. And
Yeah, but I just think that everyone's going to love that pumpkin.
I think you're right. I think you're right. So what would you want your young readers to know? What message would you like for them to be able to understand? When they shut that book, what do you want them to know?
I want them to think that they could be Pumpkin, that they could be just like him, that they could have a dream and they could just see it come about, and that if they were stalwart and strong and brave, they could see all the things that they hope to see in their life come true.
Beautiful. Anything to add to that, Rob?
I don't know that I could add anything to that other than, I hope what's conveyed when they're reading that, and I hope it's shared, or that at least they can sense it, is the love that we have for doing it, for putting it out there and saying, sharing that story. And I hope they can see the joy and love we had creating it together and doing it, and that somehow is conveyed to them, that we can share that with them, because that's really all. I don't know that for a writer and an illustrator anything could be any greater than if somebody appreciates or enjoys that. And if that's conveyed in that and they can see that, I'd be perfectly happy, that that's there long after we're gone, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm certainly buying several copies for my own kids and grandkids, and I'm really looking forward to this book coming out. So congratulations to the two of you. It's been a lot of years of hard work and effort. And as Rob, you were saying, it takes a lot more than what most people think, but you have persevered, you've pushed through, you improved, and you added upon, and it has turned out to be an exceptional book. I can't wait for the audience to be able to read it to their own children. It's going to be fabulous.